folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, I wasn't planning on making a second video today. Just been working all day long and kind of tired. But there's some things going on that's in the news, and I thought that you should be aware of it because I think this is some pretty big stuff. It is being reported that Israel was fired upon by Russia in Syria. Now, this is unconfirmed reports. So before anyone says, oh, well, there's no proof of this. This is unconfirmed. This information was released in the Syrian media. And apparently there are some reports in Israel within their own government that this did happen. As many of you know, Russia has troops in Syria, and they have their own weapon systems in Syria. And then Israel, at times, goes in and drops bombs and stuff on Syria, trying to get rid of some of the terrorist factions in Syria. Now, the report says that as Israeli planes were coming in to make their bombing run, they were fired upon by Syrian troops, but they were also fired upon by a Russian missile battery system. And this missile battery system is not under the control of Syria. It can only be fired at the command and control of Russia. So if that is true, that this particular missile system was used against Israeli planes, then apparently it must be Russia. Now, this could be a big deal, okay? Russia firing upon Israeli planes. I haven't seen any word, and I did a little digging around. I haven't seen any response from the Israeli government. This could just be washed over and say, well, it was just an accident, or it's not what was being reported, or this could escalate things. And many of you know, especially those of you that follow the good book, that the Russia-Israel, that's kind of a big deal. And so if this does spiral out of control, this could be a major event that's happened just in the last few days. Again, it may be nothing. It may be fake news. It may be false information. Or Israel and Russia may just say, you know what, this was just a big mistake and we'll move on. So that was the first big thing that jumped out at me. Now, some of the other things that I'm looking at, JP Morgan Chase, and before I mention them, okay, some of you already know where I'm going with this. We oftentimes talk about the big banking cartel and how they control things, okay? That is not a big surprise to most all of you. Well, occasionally the big banking cartel kind of lets us know what's going on. They kind of tell us, you know, what's getting ready to happen. And that's happened in two different articles here I want to show you. First of all, JP Morgan Bank is stating that gas prices will reach over $6 a gallon, and this is national average. National average. Right now, the national average is at $4.50, and they're saying that they'll hit somewhere around $6.20 by this August. Now, that's a pretty big deal. That's an additional, that's 50%, basically. If that is true, that ends up being about a 50% jump from where they're at right now. That's going to hurt a lot of people, okay? And if gasoline goes up that much, how much is diesel going to go up? Diesel's already just outrageous. Diesel, I'm sure by this summer and early fall, will just be insane amounts. And so we are people that still exist on gasoline and fuels, diesels, petrochemicals. You may not like it. You may want everything to be green and electric and clean and all that kind of stuff, but that's just not the world that we live in yet. And so this increase of prices, I have no doubt, I'm surprised they're not already at that price. So I have no doubt that by August, we will be seeing $6 a gallon plus gas. So get ready for that one. Then the other one that was also a banking, the big banking cartels, this is from the Bank of England. Now, this is a central bank, Bank of England, as many of you people know, that they're big. They're big players, okay? So this is the governor of the Bank of England is warning British people that there's going to be apocalyptic level food shortages. That's his words, apocalyptic level food shortages. And if they're going to have them in England, then we're going to feel that. I mean, we live in a very global system, you know, a global economy. And so if England feels it, we're going to feel it, because we're going to be sending food over. And we're not going to sit there and watch our closest ally starve. We're going to be sending food over there, and then that's going to take away from us. So this is a warning, folks. And if you want to know what things look like, there's been all kinds of photos and stuff already of baby formula shortage, which is the first big shortage here in the United States. These are some pictures here that I personally took at a Walmart it's the closest Walmart to us. I went in there just to look, and sure enough, the shelves are bare there for the baby formula. Now, what is all that going to happen? What's it going to look like? I mean, what's it going to look like with the people? Well, let me show you this video here. This is a recent video from Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is experiencing the brunt of it right now. You know, their fuel prices are outrageous for their people. Food prices are outrageous. Food shortages are happening. They can't deal with it. Their government is in shambles. Okay. Now, I know that you're going to say, well, that happens all the time in Sri Lanka. That's true. But this is the people here. They're protesting and fighting back because of food shortages. And this is what it looks like. Okay. This is what the beginning of it looks like. If you want to know how it looks like through the whole period, then you need to go look up some stuff about Venezuela. Venezuela will give you a good idea of what to expect. Now, for those of you that will say, well, it's not going to be like that in the United States. I mean, Americans aren't going to react that way. Don't tell me that, because certain groups of Americans have been reacting the way that you just saw in that video for the last couple of years for various different things. And if they're going to act that way for various different things, how do you think they're going to act when they get hungry? How do you think they're going to act when their stomachs start really hurting them and their children are crying because they have no food to eat or they can't afford it? That's the level of problem that this could all take us. Now, am I saying that is exactly what's going to happen here in the United States? No, I'm not. But it has the potential as things continue to spiral out of control. Okay? And they are doing that on a regular basis. They're spiraling out of control constantly. You know, the most recent one is India, you know, banning all wheat exports. I mean, it's just one after another. If that continues to happen, we could see that level of food shortages in the United States. And if not, we're certainly going to see an ever-increasing price in food. This fly that is in here is driving me nuts. I'm sure many of you are watching it, and it just will not leave me alone. Anyways, folks, I wanted to bring you these kind of hot items, I think. I'm not saying that they're the front page of the news right now, but they are some pretty important things that's happening, at least that's being reported on. And you should probably know that, and it helps you get a little bit more prepared. All right, folks. Thank you all for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.